races.
Go ahead, talk.
Nope, I can't hear you, Antoine. It's so it's just Antoine who's joined me here in the commentary booth as we get ready for heat number 2, which will be
Can you hear me?
very
1 2 1
shortly
2.
underway now.
1
As you
2
can
1
see
2.
the boat. There's no flag on the boat, which is less than 30 seconds until the start of this race, and already I can see Simone Vanucci, who's really in a good position on his ASV, sorry. ATV, sorry mate. Brian Lake's also the guy to watch, and looks like the green flag is up. Yeah, all these guys speeding past. That's been a super start again from Brian Lake. He's just so quick out the blocks, but Vanucci's going just as quick here. Had a nice chat with him before the race. Haven't seen him for quite some time actually. It's been a good 7 years since I saw Simone Vanucci. And here goes the first mark then, with Brian Lake, very safe carve round there. And let's not forget Castell, the guy in the young man in third place here. He's done brilliantly yesterday, got himself into the final. I think he upset a few of the other riders in the way that he was handling the boys, but I think he's doing great. So it's Brian Lake who's way out in the lead. He's not miles ahead here though, like only takes one crash. Simone Vanucci seems to be happy just cruising around in second place. He's so quick round the boys, is Brian Lake. And wow, what a move from the young Castell to put some pressure on Simone Vanucci, the veteran who's been in every sort of discipline, but now he accelerates very fast, Simone Vanucci. So this is going to be the interesting battle here. Brian Lake way out in the lead again. It's all going to be about that second and third place. I got a feeling this is going to be a very crucial boy for Simone Vanucci. As long as he can tack safely round here, he's going to be all right. So here he goes, and he's going on the inside again, is the young man Castell, and he's done this a lot, and it really seems to pay off, but Vanucci accelerating like a Formula 1 driver round the bend. Great drive through the last bend, sorry. Actually, it's the third to last. As he goes round the third to last boy. Brian Lake from the Lake family. Not used to these rough conditions out there. And he's just going to cruise this one home. As clearly the twin tips aren't the ones which are working today. You can just see the speed difference between the twin tips and the course racing board. So I for one thought the twin tips would be, I thought they'd be doing the business here with these waves, but it's actually, from what I'm learning, it's got to be around at least 20 knots or more for these twin tips to deal with it. Brian Lake looks comfortable, and the gap has really opened up now between second place Simone Vanucci and Castell in third place. So I think race number 2 is going to be all set, and we got a great day of racing here for you today. On the home straight then, it's Brian Lake that takes the win. Simone Vanucci, second place. And third place, Castell. Join us in a second for the third race, which will be Heat 3 on. As we carry on with the rest of the heats now. Hi, Mum. Back to the action then. Yellow flag. Let's turn my levels up a bit so you can hear me. And here we go then. It's going to be a green flag coming up any second now. Oswald Smith, I expect to really dominate this one. And off they go then. It's Oswald Smith in second place, actually behind Kakir. I think that's the Turkish man. The Gastra is Gunnar Binash. So it's all going to be about these three here. All the riders opting for a down loop. If you're watching this and you're oh, there's our first tangle. Now I think that's going to be Gunnar Binash there who's done that. As way I saw that, it looked like Oswald Smith stationary. Kite was at 12. It was Gunnar Binash who came round with the Gastra. Put his kite straight through it, as we can see the ozone. That's 2 ozones in this. It could be Ozen or Senna on the green and black ozone. He's not going to be bothered at all. He's going to get a nice second place here, and will be interesting to see how they look at that. I saw that personally as Gunnar Binash, who shoved his kite through Oswald over here. And if he can get on his board, he might get a nice third place, but cruising. Cruising into the lead then is Kakir. Sorry, Antoine, so what will happen now to those two? Will they carry on racing? You might as well know, he's got a third. That really ballses it up for the next heat. That's going to be some good guys in there. So he has options then, Oswald Smith. He can keep racing, which he will do. Miles ahead there, the guy in first place, which is Kakir. In first or second. Now, luckily for Oswald, he's going to get a third place in this race. But he is really flying there. Kakir on the RRD is going very well indeed. So here he comes then, leader of the race and winner of the race. It's going to be Kakir. Cruising. In cruise mode then. So, I mean, that's how it goes with these guys. Once they get enough of a lead, they can turn the engine power down, just like, keep saying it, just like the Formula 1 racers. That's how they like to do it. So Oswald Smith then having a bit of a deal in this race as in comes second place, which will either be Ozen or Senna on the Ozone, getting a nice cruisy second place there. Didn't really have to work hard for that due to the big collision at the start. That's what I really like about this slalom now. Loads of collisions, great for the public to see. And join us shortly for heat number 4. It's going to take place in around 5 minutes as we wait for the riders in heat number 3 to get themselves back out to the start line. Great to have you with us today here at day 3 of the PKA Kite Masters here in Turkey. What a day for it we have, and we'll join you shortly. So here we are again then. Race number 4 of the day. Hit for Caneur, Bridge, Lake, Vanucci, Castell. And yeah, he did. There he is. There's Castell on the inside. He hasn't made it out there. And it's Brian Lake leading. Bridge in second place, the Englishman, followed by Vanucci. Oh, is it Gruber? Gruber wears a helmet. I think that's, or is it Bridge? Brian Lake is putting the hammer down. Much better race then for Ollie Bridge. Caneur's had a nightmare here. This isn't going to help him at all. Really desperate to get into the final is Julian Caneur. Here they come then as we focus on the one of the crucial boys, and it's Brian Lake who's negotiated it brilliantly. Ollie Bridge has done enough, so great result this for Ollie Bridge if he can keep this second place. He's been finishing third quite a few times. Third now, Julian Caneur has overtaken Vanucci, but Vanucci's going well. This is actually the exciting battle here, although I remind the viewers that third and fourth will not get into the final here. It's only going to be the top two of it's going to be very hard for them to catch up. They're just hoping for a mistake. Brian Lake's fine. The crash, both of them on the buoy there in third and fourth. It doesn't really matter though. They're only fighting for position here. And Bridge is going well in this one. His mother will be proud. As Lake approaches the final buoy. Round he goes. Another successful negotiation of that one. Bridge just got to hold it together, which he does. Caneur's riding the waves there, Julian Caneur. Vanucci's blown it at the back. The Italian just having a bit of bad luck in this one. And it's Brian Smith and Ollie Bridge that go into the final of our first part of the day. I'm not watching YouTube. I should just be on the live stream, right? Just the Wirecast one. It sounds alright. I listened to it from just standing back of your thing, but when I look at this Wirecast and stand up, it's almost on time, like half a second. Okay. Second of 3 was yeah. Who was first then? I think he won. Yeah, he won. I buggered it because he went through first. Second of 3 was Smith was third. I think Smith was third. Yeah, probably, because there was a crash, wasn't there? It would have been another Turkish guy. Banash would have blown it. I think that's how it will go anyway. Second of 1, Gruber. It'll be these two we have to talk about. Second of 3, I'm not sure. Fourth of 1, that would have been, these are the two Turks I don't know. Do you know who that, Egan? Oh yeah, Egan. It's got RRD, so how's it looking? Are we close? Postponement flag. welcome back then. Second semi-final then, heat number 5 coming up. Gruber, Irigan, Smith, Chakir, and second of 3, which is Ozan, I believe. Ozan or Senna, one of the Ozone riders. I'm just going to put Ozone in there to cover myself. And let's just take it. As we see the A problem flag, the AP flag up on the boat, that's Olaf out there just making sure things run smoothly. This will be heat number 5 then, 5th heat of the day, and only the top 2 riders will advance to the final to meet Brian Lake and Ollie Bridge as the riders get themselves ready. As the reason why I have the AP flag up, just allowing the riders to make their way to the start line. And already interestingly, we've had a bit of a balls up. I think that was Castell there, who should have been in that last race, who didn't make it out to the start. So he's going to be unhappy. Could have got himself a nice position. As we wait for that AP flag to lower before we start. How's it sound, Antoine? Sounds okay? Until the race goes, I suppose you don't know how it's... Yeah. But I should be looking at the live stream, not the live stream, the Wirecast is the one I should be watching from. There's no way I should be talking into YouTube because that's delayed anyway. Yeah. 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 It's close enough. When I look and look, it's like you can get away with it because you can see so much more like that. Sometimes they put this area like in the back in a container or something, and they're just going off their video, which is hard. So I remember that happened in France to Dave. Whoa. Oh, what? And Dave was controlling all of them. Yeah. Split. Yeah. That's a proper production. Yeah. Yeah, I saw them on the beach all the time. Welcome back here then to the PKR8 Kite World Masters. It's pretty windy out there today now. It's about 15 knots for the racing. Just to remind you what's happening here out to sea, we have one of the buoys which is not in place. So let me show you what's going on the boat. The boat, you can see the AP flag, which is indicating to the riders that's the red and white one out on the boat out there. That's just explaining to the riders that there's a postponement while we get that buoy back in place. The slalom's coming up very soon. Stay with us, we're about to have the semi-final of the men's, then the final of the ladies and men's coming up. Bridge going well for the UK today, pretty happy about that. He's got himself into the first final. We'll see you in a couple of minutes while we sort out this buoy problem. Antoine, can you check you're live? It's not working on my iPad anymore. It's okay. Oh no, it's okay. Sorry. Thanks for joining us again here at the PKA, the Bern Kiteboard World Cup, PKA here in Turkey. Just under a bit of a delay at the moment. Here's the reason why. Check out the boat out to sea. Got an AP flag, which is looks like it's just been lowered actually. And just some of the buoys now, you can see this swells out to sea. It's quite lumpy out there today. Wouldn't want to be on that boat today. There's Olaf out there and Rowdy's out there. One of the judges usually sits in the box all day, does Rowdy, but he's out on the boat today. As it looks to me like the AP flag's coming down, and this will soon be the start then of heat number 5, fifth one of the day, and this will decide who gets into the final. Already in the final is Brit Ollie Bridge, who's had a great time, and Lake is in the final, so not such a good day so far for Julian Kenner. As that sounds to me like a horn. Let's go and have a look quickly at the cam. Looks like the boat's moving again. So what can we see out here? Where's that buddy boat gone? There it is. But it doesn't matter though, no? It's just does it matter? Like, as long as they're together, I suppose. But what a horrible wind direction to be up here. Red flag. Here we go then. Hopefully you've just joined us at the right time here and haven't lost your patience. The red flag is up. Everything is set and in place. So it's just under 2 minutes then until we see the start of this semi-final. Çakır, Ozan, Gruber, the guy from Germany, Egan and Oswald Smith here, all battling for a place to get into that men's final, which if you saw the footage from yesterday, was absolutely superb. Not long left then. Excuse me, the camera's just turned itself off. More probs, there we go. So red flag as the riders prepare. Over to the left hand side they go. Red flag, Antoine. And this is how the riders know when to start their races. It's all about the flags. It's about the flags. They have to keep an eye on the flags, especially once that AP flag goes down. It's only a couple of minutes, so if you're not out there, you've blown it. Here we go then. Can't be long until the start of this race. We'll see the riders grouping over to the left hand side, just as I said yesterday, like an under-10s football game, as they do around the football. Kites to keep an eye out for then in this heat are going to be Gruber on the north and Oswald Smith on the air rush. They're the two favourites for me to join both Brian Lake and Ollie Bridge. As our cameraman Antoine now getting himself ready as the guys just float around the mark. And it's an invisible line between the boat, I believe, and one of the markers. There they go then. So Oswald Smith's he's at the back, and soon we'll see these guys accelerate. There we go, that's the green flag. I can see Oswald Smith, not a bad start. He's right in the thick of it though, is Oswald Smith. As out in the front, looks like the RRD of the guy who had such a good heat, Çakır, who won his third heat. So it's just as I thought then, Oswald Smith's up there in the top 3, so is Florian Gruber, but again, Çakır, who sounds like one of the Turkish riders on the RRD, the black and white RRD, he's having a belter of a races today, as they negotiate the first buoy. Quite a wide turn from Çakır. That's going to open the door up for Bridge and Smith to get in. Oswald Smith getting the better of that corner then, and that could well be him gone in the distance. It's going to be a battle between Bridge and Çakır for second and third place. as our cameraman Antoine picks out the race for you to watch. I'm going to get rid of that slalom coming up thing because it's happening. And Bridge yet to make his mark in this event. He's got the speed going across wind, as you can see here, so it's actually quite close. Oswald Smith on the left-hand side. It's South Africa currently leading, very close that, but I'm going to give that to South Africa leading Turkey, followed by Great Britain. This is where you don't want to balls it up. Smith is round clean. Oh, that's tight. Looked like a collision almost there between Bridge and Shakir, who accelerates away now. This is for second place to get into the finals with Brian Lake and Ollie Bridge. Sorry, that's Gruber. That's Florian Gruber here, the German, desperate to get in there. Too many green North kites these days, just can't tell the difference. So Air Rush, South Africa leads. Turkey in second with the white and black RRD. Can Florian Gruber make his mark? And he's not going to do it. It's going to be too little too late, I think, for Florian Gruber. He needs something very special to happen around this boy. Next boy is Oswald Smith. So comfortable for such a young bloke. I was chatting to him yesterday how he's enjoying his time travelling on his own. I remember the days. He must be a good 10 years younger than me. He's having a great time. Such a talented guy. Such a likeable character as well, Oswald Smith. Full of energy. He is exactly how every kite surfer starts off their life. So stoked with kiting, and he's keeping it. Not so many keep that stoked the whole time. Oswald Smith's as stoked as day one. As now Shakir, he's really riding well today, Shakir, on that RRD. He's catching Oswald Smith. Second, I mean, we talked about this yesterday, me and Brian and some of the guys. Once you both, they're both in the final, these two here. Is it worth it to put this much pressure on Oswald Smith? If they have a tangle here, they're both going to go out the final. So such is the way of racing, though. These guys always want to come first. Shakir does. That looks like he's blown that. Shakir nearly took out Oswald, just as I said. So Gruber's got a chance to put himself in the final now, and he doesn't take it. He's going to have to get accelerating very quickly here. As he does, though, Gruber, he's going to have a shot here because he's on full steam. It's going to be close this. Who's going to make the final? I think Gruber's going to steal it. What a race. Gruber's going to edge it. Oh, no, the wave's just caught him. Who's it going to be? I think, that is a close one. We can only know down by the line there. Mauricio's going to have to call that one. One of the best races I've seen possibly ever in the slalom there. And that's exactly how it goes. One little mistake on one of the boys, and it can cost you everything. So off goes Antoine now to go and find the results of that one. But wow, what a race that was. I hope that some of you managed to tune in and see that one happen, because that was just epic right in front of us now. That was the German and Turkish rider. You just think, I mean, Gruber, what a time to put a belter of a jibe in. Wow. Shortly, as the ladies get ready, already it's a red flag. Looks like I'm going to be doing the camera work for this one as well then. Where's that sun gone today? Sun's gone in a little bit chilly down here. I've only brought a t-shirt, white t-shirt as usual. Let's just show you what happens when you have a white t-shirt in life. This is such a classic thing. So here's my nice Iceni t-shirt. See that big old stain on the left-hand side? There we go. What a stain that is. That was from a Coke can earlier, so that's the end of that for the trip. There goes my judge's sheet. Don't want to lose that. No. Okay, back to the action then for the ladies. Yellow flag, which means we're just about to start. So Gruber winning that and going into the final. What an amazing way to get into the final for Gruber. Just stealing it, and he's going to be kicking himself, that Turkish rider who's had such a good start to the racing today. He just blew it there. That Shakir is going to be unhappy. So in shot are the ladies. Do you have any sheets of the ladies? Any information on the ladies? I only ever know who Christine Boniger is because she's got a foil. So here we go then with the start of the ladies' final. Christine Boniger, who's a very experienced course racer. She's on the green black and white foil. She's in third place. It looks like in first at the moment it's the Russian. Very difficult to spot these riders. So many ozones flying around, but they're going to be happy because they're in first and second at this moment in time. Selen, you reckon it's Selen? Yeah. So, Selen is currently in front. That's the Russian. Oh, the Russian is actually Elena Kalinina. So it's Turkey looking like they've got a 1 and 2 at the moment with their 2 ozones and okay, alright, so Elena Kalinina is in first. And a tangle. And there's a big old stack up there to the left hand side. Wonder what's going to happen with that. May well see a rerun here, I'm not sure. So the ladies final dominated so far by the ozones. Elena Kalinina. And that looks like Merv Selen, who's probably in second place, or one of the other ozone riders. It could also be could be Denise Akuz, who rides ozone and north. Right on top of each other, them 2 kites over there. Big old stack up. If you've joined us, the men's final will be coming up very soon. And wow, just on the inside, old Ariel Cornell's gone out for a freestyle sesh. Looked like he went for a frontside 7 off one of them waves there. Big old Kano on the inside of that 14 metre now. Nicely powered on this very onshore wind. There's Brian Lake out the back as the ladies just negotiate their last few bends. So that's definitely the Russian, or Elena Kalinina, because she didn't have a sponsor. That's what threw me off. And it could be 1 or 2 girls in second place, you reckon? Okay, brilliant. So I can tell you now, my sources tell me that in first place, Elena Kalinina from Russia is cleaning this up. There she is on the blue and black ozone on that orange board. Second place looks like sponsored heavily by Bern. Is Merv Selen or Kilan, Turkey. And where is Christine Bonigo here? She's had a nightmare, Christine Bonigo from Germany, who's used to dominating certainly the course racing. She's very good at that. Today not put things so well together. First place then from Russia. She's going to be absolutely stoked with that. Second place for Turkey. And guess what we've got here in third place? We've got a twin tip, which is what I like to see. The twin tips mixing it up here. And that must be the ozone of Denise Akut, who's on a 15 metre twin tip. She's going to get a great third place here as the ladies finishing. I can see all the guys now ready out the back then for this men's final. I hope that you've joined us to watch this. The final yesterday, absolutely superb. As in your shot right now is the downed Cabrina. Florian Gruber there in the last semi-final of the men with an unbelievable win to just take it from Shakir. So it's Gruber and Smith versus Lake and Bridge. Can't be long until we see the start of that. So Stay tuned. This is going to be the final of the men's now, coming up from our first race of the day, our first bunch of races, if you like. This one's going to be a belter. We had some great racing from the finals, as I said yesterday, so let's have a quick look at that boat and see how long it's going to be. And this is what we look for here as I sit in the So as I sit here in the judging booth, which is also a commentary booth as well, once again thanks to our listeners, especially if you've listened in and joined us from the UK. Hey guys, how's it going? Weather's pretty good here, but I don't think it's that bad at home at the moment. Missed some great weather, bank holiday weekend. This is the final of the men, so if you have stayed with us and you've been patient, we've got the final of the men just taking place. So in your shot now is the race directing boat. Olaf is out there, and also one of our judges, Rowdy's out there as well. Told me that boat was quite a challenge to stay in yesterday. And our 4 riders appear to be out there just moving around. It's Florian Gruber, Oswald Smith. God, very windy here now. I can barely stand up. I'm going to have to watch this one. Well, not barely stand up. It's actually the onshore conditions which are making it a bit of a nightmare for us here in this judging tower. We haven't got any protection from the wind. I can see the air rush. That's Oswald Smith from South Africa. Ollie Bridge on the green north. Florian Gruber on the green north. And Brian Lake, who's I'm sure keen to get a good start to these races and take the win. So what we're looking for here, I'm looking for that flag. I want to see that flag on the bow of the boat. That looks like a red flag to me. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more on that. So there we go. There's a better shot for you. And that almost looks like the AP flag's definitely down. Signalling then from Olaf on the boat. He's signalling to the riders. Looks like he's got a gun or something, or a horn. That looks like a nightmare on that boat. I tell you, that boat is up and down like a yo-yo. And then tell you, yesterday was much stronger. There's Oswald Smith from South Africa just coming through your picture. As a very patient job these guys have. One of the guys appears to be holding up a clipboard. As I think they got boat probs again. I think that boat is, it's our tripod or their boat. One of these things is anchor causing a few problems on this boat throughout yesterday and possibly today. It's definitely moving from our shot. There's Florian Gruber with the helmet. Now these guys, the fins on these boards are so long, over a foot long. Not a bad idea to be wearing a helmet. There's the red flag then. So we have the red flag. That is what the riders wanted to see. Red flag, Antoine. And now the positioning takes place. So just a reminder, 4 men in this final. Brian Lake from the USA, Ollie Bridge from the UK, Oswald Smith from Cape Town, and the 4th rider is the German, Florian Gruber. You will see them in your picture coming from the left-hand side in a minute, as they have just under 2 minutes for this first final of the day. Boats in position, everything seems to be working great today. It's another lovely, beautiful day here at the Bern PKA Kite Masters, the Kite World Masters here, just off Istanbul in Birch Beach, as the riders start taking their tack back in now to the boat. That's Brian Lake on the white Cabrina. He likes to be out the front of these starts. When I say out the front, in the best possible position, very tricky to decide what is the best position. Do you stay upwind, speed it downwind, or do you just block everyone out? That would certainly be my tactic here, just block the hell out of everyone. That looks like a yellow flag, which means yellow flag meaning that it's just about to go underway here is this final. Once that yellow flag comes down, it's less than 30 seconds. So timing is everything with these races. Julian, is the start between the red boy and the boat? Okay. So in your shot here, you can see the imaginary start line. We've actually got the kite surfers there. That's the 4 riders, 2 Green Norths, Air Rush, and the white Cabrina. White Cabrina is the USA man, Brian Lake. They're just getting ready. It's an imaginary line between the red boy and the boat. There we go then. So this is definitely the start. Off they go now. It looks like a great start from Ollie Bridge there, accelerating straight out in front. Brilliant start from Ollie Bridge. Oswald Smith, the 2 young men. I mean, some of the youngest guys on the tour are only 18 and 17 respectively. Brian Lake, though, storming up the front. I think we're going to see a big tangle on this first one. I can just feel it. As these 3 riders way out in front. Florian Gruber's out the back, the German with the Green North. In your screens now. 3 men. England versus South Africa. And they seem to have negated. Wow, what a jibe turn that was from Florian Gruber, who's put himself in 3rd. Brian Lake just accelerating away. He's so good at getting planing off these bends. As in 2nd place, Oswald Smith having a pretty good run in there. So it's still all to play for here. Very close. Every single turn is going to be increasingly important. But that's exactly where the American wants to be. Out in front, controlling the race. He can now afford to put a lot of time into his cornering and make sure he gets it right. So there he goes. Very choppy out there. Very important jibe. That looks like someone's messed up. Something's gone out of focus there with the camera. What a critical time for that. Either way, Ollie Bridge, as we now zoom out nicely, you can see Brian Lake is miles ahead here. He's going to take, I think, the first win of the day, qualifying through this quarter-final, semi-final, and here we are in the final. He navigates the buoy. Notice how the guys throw a down loop, nearly all of them using a down loop to get round here. And this is why you can see lots of tangles. So the battle for 2nd, 3rd here is it's going to be big, as the Green North completely simultaneously. And looks like a bit of a stack for Ollie Bridge, as Florian Gruber now seems to have it sorted. So that's the way this race is certainly going to go. As far as I see it, it's going to be Brian Lake in 1st place. There's a wave though, right where he's turning. He's talked about this a few times, but it seems to be pretty good to him. It's going to be the other riders which have to deal with this wave. Nice tight turn from Oswald Smith. Miles out ahead again is Brian Lake, just storming around this course. What a race we've had here. And Florian Gruber looks like he's going to take a well-deserved 3rd place here. Those of you that saw the semi-final, where we saw one of the best races I've seen ever, with Florian Gruber coming back from a position which looked impossible. Are we going to see a mistake? No, we're not. Brian Lake then about to cross the finish line as he accelerates on with the jet ski and the live film crew out there filming him as he takes the first race victory of the day, the first sector. Nice big air there from Brian Lake as Oswald Smith comes into 2nd place, the young man from South Africa. Couldn't do anything about that. And a crash. Brilliant, amazing, on the line. Enough pressure by the Englishman to get a 3rd place finish. Ollie Bridge steams into 3rd place, and it's Florian Gruber who's going to be kicking himself now, who's fallen at the last hurdle. The guy with the helmet from Germany can only manage 4th in the end. It was always tight between them 2 here. Very lucky to be in the final, maybe he was Gruber, but really performed well in that semi-final. So just to recap for you, from that incredible start of the racing today in first place, taking the first set of races going all the way into the final. Looked like with ease is Brian Lake from America. Second place, Oswald Smith from South Africa. Third place, Ollie Bridge, stealing it on the line there with that crash from the German. In fourth place, Florian Gruber. We go into a short break now. Hope you can join us for the next part of the racing here at the Bern Kite World Masters here in Turkey. Super day of racing on the cards. See you soon. Thanks for joining us then. I'd love one, please. Just being offered a nice piece of bread. Where's the bread man gone? He's walking around on the beach. So here we are then. We're just about to get underway with some more racing in around 10 minutes time. On the water now, a couple of the freestylers that I'm going to film for you just to show you. There's Paul Serin, the guy that come in second place yesterday. Great day on the water yesterday, really exciting, explosive action. And I believe Ariel's out there somewhere as well. Where's he gone? Has he gone upwind? Yeah, he's gone upwind. See if we can get a nice shot of Ariel for you. Again, it's a freestyler's dream out there today. If you've got a 13 metre, you'd have a great time out there. There looks like we've got the kite of Ariel. Here he is, just enjoying another day. I had a great chat with him last night. A really nice guy, Ariel, who's now moved to Germany to make it easier for him to get around. And then we're going to see him do a nice trick for us now. Just cruising, and that's what's nice about this event. Slightly jealous of the competitors here. We've had some great wind, which is always nice, and what these guys are doing, they're turning up. Certainly the guys in the slalom, they're getting 4 or 5 days of great racing. It's just nice as a kite surfer to be out there kiting for 4 or 5 days. And who's that? That's the guy on his secret kite. I asked him yesterday, what is that kite? Because if you look, where is it? Let's see if we can get a nice shot of that kite. This is a real one-off kite there. Not easy to get that shot. It's got all sorts of cool graphics on it. Bloody scaffolding in the way. Does my head in. So we missed that. It's actually got Istanbul with the Olympic rings on the kite, which is obviously been made to promote the Olympic Games bid from Istanbul, which is a candidate city in 2012. So pretty smart idea that you come with that. Let's get back onto things with Ariel Cornell, who's just having a little chilled freestyle session. Let's see. Watch the body language of a freestyler. This is how you can tell when they're going to unhook. He's looking for somewhere to unhook now. You can tell already. Hands in the middle of the bar. Arm down, says no traffic or nothing setting itself up for me. As he comes accelerating. Toe side. Here we go then. Toes. Oh! Great crash caught on camera there. Going for a very tricky move, which is, I think that's called the G spot. That's an Azza move, that one. Which is a toe side move. Enjoyed that. And we're just going to leave the camera zoomed out here for you so you can have a look at some of the freestyle taking place. Some of the boys being moved again for you. So hope you can stay with us. We've got some more slalom coming up for another lovely day here at the Bern Kite World Masters. welcome back then for this next stage of the day. What is this? It's not the second race of that, it's the second. You say second race, people are like, well, there's been 5 races. How do you say it? Second round of races. So, second round of racing about to take place. So it looks like Julian Caneur is out here. Julian Caneur's on the black and white North, and it looks like Jackie also on a black and white RRD as well. 2 green Norths. Oh, off they go then, flying out at the start. Looks like the white knee brace of Julian Caneur, who's currently in the lead. Followed by Gruber and probably Bridge. Rounding the mark is Julian Caneur, the man from France, on the black and white RRD. Ollie Bridge then, so it looks like these are going to be the top 3. It looks like we had a tangle on the mark there, which has held up the back part of the crew. That's going to be our first, second and third then, I reckon, already, which is 2 green Norths in second and third there. There's to the left hand side Ollie Bridge from the UK. Florian Gruber's in third place. Julian Caneur has gone way wide, but comes back very fast. Very experienced guy is Julian Caneur. Nice bloke from France. Can we see the Englishman then? Hopefully some of you watching back home in England. The guy you want to win this is on the green North kite to the left hand side, the North Dyno. Seems to be making ground up on Julian Caneur. And if you are watching from home, maybe you're watching from my hometown of Worthing, what you're watching is the slalom racing, which is the new style of kite surfing racing, which looks epic. I'd love to get involved next year. 2 or 3 minute races. Nice shot here from the cameraman. You can see the green kite is making ground on Julian Caneur. Would be lovely to see Ollie Bridge put himself into the nice side of the semi-finals. Can be very tactical, this, you know, who you go up against next. Sometimes it's in your favour to actually do worse, but hey, I think second place is going to be fine for the Englishman. Frenchman's in first, just a couple of boys to round. Riding over to the finish line then is Julian Caneur, who's going to pick up a first place in this. Second place is Ollie Bridge in second from the UK. And third place looks like it's going to be Florian Gruber from Germany. So France 1, 2 England, 3 Germany. I can see the red flag already out the back for the next set of racing then. So stay with us, 2 minutes away until we see the start of race number 2 here at round 2 of the races. And the way this is working then is that there's many rounds throughout the day. It's probably going to be 4 rounds throughout today. And a round is basically how we go through the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the final, and then we'll get a result of that round, and then it will be all the rounds combined, all their scores combined, which will give an overall score for this part of the leg here in Turkey. Let's just go back to the action, because I know we're about to start. As there's the yellow flag, so less than a minute then, yellow flag. And who's in this heat? I can tell you out the back, over to the left-hand side. So Simone Vannucci is going to be in this one, Brian Lake, and I think that's a Frenchman, the young kid who's really causing a stir here out to sea. So yellow flag is still up. I'm going to find out exactly who that is, because that young kid doesn't speak so much English, but he's mixing it up with some of the top guys out there. And it's Castell. The guy is called Castell. And here he is here. Where is he? Castell. So he's just about to start. So not long until they start now. Here they go. Flying off the start is the young rider Castell. But once again, Brian Lake, as always, out the front. And he's followed by the veteran, Simone Vannucci, the guy from Italy, who's caught. Wow, what a crash that was. I think I jinxed him there. Simone Vannucci is going to drop down right to the back of the pack. One crash here in the slalom, the whole race can be over. So it's the young man who rounds the buoy first, with the pro just behind him. Now I'm sure that's going to be scaring him a little bit, as he's in first place here. Wouldn't it be amazing to beat Brian Lake, the big pro at racing, the man from the States, is currently in second place to the young man who I think's a Frenchman. And does Brian Lake. Well. And now he's cruising up a gear. And I think this is sensible riding from the young guy from France. He can tell there's quite a bit of distance between him and third place, and he's not going to push it. I think he's just going to hold back. He's letting Brian Lake, well, maybe not letting him, but he looks comfortable now that he's in second place. Brian Lake's probably going to make his way to the final. Why bugger it for both of you? Just take it easy and get yourself a nice second place, because that's what these guys want really. First or second qualifies them quite nicely for the next round. So just to remind you how this is working then, it's 3 heats of 6 guys, around 6 guys. Usually the top 3 advance to the semi-finals. And he's come off his board quite badly here. That's the French guy, the young kid I've been talking about. He's going to be in big trouble now to make it. Simone Vannucci, how ironic that Vannucci, with such a big crash at the start, has now worked his way into third place. And this is another crash on the mark there. Simone Vannucci is going to work his way all the way from the back, reminiscent of the Jensen Button win. He's not going to quite get in first place, is Simone Vannucci, but he's come all the way from the back to come up to second place here. And this is why it's so exciting, the slalom, because a couple of the guys have a crash in front of you, a few big caners, a couple of kite twists. Before you know it, you're from last to first or second. So Simone Vannucci is going to be over the moon with this now, as it looks like he ended up okay there. Did the young rider from France, he's good. He's going to be okay there. He's going to be fine. As Ariel Corniel wowing the crowds on the inside. So in first place, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if Simone Vannucci stole the lead in this race? So cruising in first place, Brian Lake, as our Turkish announcer mentions to the crowd. Simone Vannucci coming in second place. USA first, Italy second. Where's this kid from? Is it France? Castel, what's his first name? He's not even on the list here. So Romain Castel looks comfortable here as we see a final little push from the twins hit rider who gave him a little run for his money on the line there. The guy on the north really looks like he's got the speed. I think the wind's picked up out there now. So, first place then, America. Second place, going to the Italian, Simone Vannucci. Third place, Castel, the young Frenchman, makes his way into the next part of the competition, which will be the semi-finals. One more race then coming up from the quarter-finals now. I can see Oswald Smith is out there, and he's in the mix with Gunnar Benash, who's from Germany. He's got an American-English accent, Gunnar Benash, though. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Really nice bloke, actually. He's in it for the sport, is Gunnar. Got some fans on Facebook that are willing him on, so hopefully he'll have a good heat now. And this is a good heat for him, I think. He's only got Oswald Smith. He's starting from the back. Gunnar Benash, though, he's had a good start here. There's the green flag already. A few of the guys, a few of the RRD riders in here look like they're doing pretty good. And that might be the Bulgarian, who's Muradin Zeko, who's looks like he's buggered that. He's gone straight to the back now. So in first place then, if you're listening, Mark Connolly, you asked how your boy Gunnar Benash is doing. He's doing pretty good here. He's found his way into second place, and he's going to be very happy about that, because he's going to get through to the semi-finals and hopefully get a good one. So apologies, Mark Connolly, if you're listening. I told you that Gunnar was thrashing everyone and having some great races. He's actually Florian Gruber I was talking about, but he's not doing bad in this race, is Gunnar Benash. He could do with getting into that second spot now. He's just fallen back in third. So first place then in this race so far is going to be a clear, easy win for Oswald Smith. Second place is one of the guys on the Ozones. Maybe it's Ozen. On the RRD is Sally, the Turkish English, I've told he was. He's down as Turkish. And this is quite some comeback from him, actually. So it was Sally on the RRD earlier. Sorry, I think I mentioned that wrong. And he's going to be putting the pressure on Gunnar Benash here. He's a fast rider, is Sally. And this is certainly what to watch for here now, is the second and third place. Oswald Smith's going to be uncatchable. He could probably body drag the rest of this course and win. Wonder if that's allowed. Do you reckon that's allowed, Toby? Can you body drag over? Is it like horse racing, where you have to have your horse? You have to cross with your horse. So there's a rider right in the way of the zone here, as it's Gunnar Benash. Really is. This is the part to watch in this race, and he's done well. Gunnar Benash has accelerated away. Almost looks like Sally's cruising in third. I mean, he's really accelerating, but Sally is on the black and white RRD. He's the Turkish rider here. It's the German of Gunnar Benash who needs to get round this mark well, and he just negotiates it with a tricky bunch of waves coming in. It's going to be the German who's going to finish second place here, unless something happens here, as Sally tries to put down the hammer. But to me here, it looks like Sally was happy about coming third. He must have looked at the heat sheets and thought, maybe if I come third I get an easier semi-final. So great race there. And just to remind you, so from South Africa, from Cape Town, my mate Oswald Smith taking first place. Second place, Gunnar Benash from Germany. And third, the Turkish rider Sally, all qualifying for the semi-finals. So join us in a couple of minutes' time when we will have the semi-finals at the Bern PKA Kite World Masters here in Turkey. Having a super time here today. Everything seems to be working brilliantly. Hope you can hear me loud and clear. Why not mention on Facebook to me if you can't hear me or it's not going well, but I think we're having a good time. Loads of great racing. This is the second round of racing today. The Englishman Bridge doing much better today, which is what I want to see. I'd love to see some of the twin tip riders out there dominating, but it's not the conditions for them today, I think. So who's going to be today? Takes home the win. It's going to be Brian Lake, Oswald Smith, maybe Florian Gruber or Ollie Bridge also up there. Join us in a couple of minutes when we will start with the semi-finals of the men. See you in a minute. Oh, here we go. Race has started. So we've got a few of the pros here in this one. Brian Lake once again on the Carina. What a start we've got. So it looks like Brian Lake's going to go into first place here. Julien Conneur on the black and white, the Frenchman. Just behind him, Simone Vanucci on the orange and white kite. We've got a green north in there as well. That's going to be Florian Gruber. And here they go then. Very important part of the race. Are we going to see a tangle? Almost in sync. And the Frenchman, the young rider, Roman Castell, has put himself in a great position here. He's got upwind nicely. He's on the blue Zico. Simone Vanucci has dropped to the bow. I think Brian Lake's going to be hard to catch now as the American on the Cabrina. Julien Conneur, the Frenchman, in second place. This is the battle to get into the final then. Only two of these riders going to make it into the final. And there's some good riders there. Wow, what a crash there from one of the riders. That's the young Frenchman, Roman Castell, who's put himself out of the rankings here to get into the final. As round the mark comes Brian Lake. Comfortable as always. He's just a comfortable rider here. He's just used to being out in first place. Julien Conneur looks like he's going to be hard to catch, as Simone Vanucci is going to be the only man that maybe can challenge him now. Look a bit underpowered, some of these riders out there working the kites up and down. Can Simone Vanucci, the Italian, make up some ground? Oh no, it's Brian. He's crashed. Unbelievable. Brian Lake has crashed. His board's upside down. This could really affect everything here. Can Simone Vanucci come back from behind again? So Brian Lake has got it all to do now. The man that we thought was so easily was going to get into first place has blown it. He's fallen into fourth place. He's going to be fuming. Brian Lake has got it all to do now to get into the final, and this could well change the outcome of the point scoring here. I can tell you, Oswald Smith out the back is going to be over the moon with this. Simone Vanucci can't believe his luck here. Second race of the day now that he's just cruised in from third or fourth place into a top two finish. But Brian Lake is storming around like a madman now because he knows he has to get into first or second to qualify for this final. I think we're going to see some action around this mark here. Julien Conneur does what he should do in first place, and he's done it. Brian Lake has found his way back into second place. Simone Vanucci couldn't handle the pressure of being in second place. And it's going to be a third place, well-deserved third place for Florian Gruber if they stay like this. So Brian Lake has shown us here that he can deal with it. When the going gets tough, he can deal with it. Because we've seen him cruise into so many easy leads and take the win. He fell into fourth place there, Brian Lake, halfway round the course. And I mean, he's almost challenging for the lead again. So it's going to be a Julien Canner from France, number 1 here as they approach the final boy. Brian Lake's going to be over the mood here. I think we're going to see a little boost of satisfaction from him as he crosses the line. Florian Gruber in second place. Are we going to see a little jump from Brian Lake? No, Brian Lake has decided not to treat himself to an aerial trick. Maybe he's angry at himself. And Simone Vannucci has thrown it away there. He had such a good chance to make it to the final. And once again, what an exciting race we had here. That was a superb race here. From my position, I can stand up and actually take a look at the action just exactly from the point of view from the cameraman here. So unbelievable race, that one. And it always, when you least expect it seems, with these races, someone blows it, crashes into each other or falls over, and they're not really used to using these course racing boards in such choppy, wavy conditions, which is one of the problems when they're rounding some of these marks. So the other semi-final about to take place now. Let's go straight to it. There's our cameraman. Yellow flag, and let me remind you, the yellow flag is 1 minute left. When that yellow flag comes down, it's going to be 30 seconds left. So over to the left hand side, I can see the riders already starting to get in position. Sally, Gunnar Benash, he's out there. A few of the other riders, sorry we haven't mentioned them so much, down in 4th and 5th and 6th place sometimes in these races. Very confusing. There's lots of the riders with the same kite, so from commentating point of view, it's very hard to spot these riders. As that looks like a few of the twin tip riders out there. So yellow flag looks like it's down as they start to group together like a bunch of under 11 football players around a football. Off they go then. It's been a great start for Sally. Once again, Oswald Smith right in the mix. So Gunnar Benash isn't in a bad spot either here as the kites get nice and close together. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Cape Town, South Africa. Sally, Turkey. And oh, there's been a bit of a balls up there. Looks like one of the twin tip riders getting in the way. As first around this mark is going to be Sally. Are we going to see any contact here? All down looping nicely. Gunnar Benash takes a nice line through there. In first place then, Sally from Turkey. Oswald Smith behind him in second place from Cape Town. Third place, Ollie Bridge from the UK. Gunnar Benash from Germany. It looks like he's going to move from 4th into 3rd after that little mistake from Ollie Bridge. No, Ollie Bridge starts accelerating on the plane again. And Ollie Bridge from the UK could really do with getting up here in 1st or 2nd. He's close enough to do it. Oswald Smith taking the lead once more. So good at getting in front, these guys. Brian Lake and Oswald Smith just don't ever want to be in any other position at first place with that clean win. Tricky set here. Now this has been navigated very well then by Oswald Smith's going to be hard to catch now as Sally, the Englishman, well the Turkishman that is Turkish English, but he's Turkish on the on my sheet in front of me. As he looks back, he's glancing back, does Sally, and Ollie Bridge now can only hope for a mistake from these front two guys, but we have seen it. Are we going to see a mistake here? Sally's actually taken the lead again now. These two at the front don't want to be getting too close to each other. It's almost exactly the same position you have with two riders that are two racers, if you like, racing for Ferrari, for example. Oh, there's the crash. There's the wave, which might cost Oswald Smith the final. And it's exactly the same as the last race, but I don't think he's going to be able to make up the ground like Brian Lake did. Oswald Smith isn't going to make the final like this. Ollie Bridge just kept himself in the right place. That's what it's about doing it. Keep believing you can get through. So round the mark then comes Sally, who was lying in second place for a lot of this race. And can Oswald Smith do something special? Oh no, Ollie Bridge has crashed now. The Englishman has cost himself possibly second. Gunnar Benash is sniffing out a second place as Oswald goes back into second place. What a great couple of races we've had here. Loads of position changing. And wouldn't it be something if Gunnar Benash now can get himself into second place? I think Ollie Bridge is going to put some pressure on for third, but no prizes for third here. Once again, an incredible race. The lead changing, the second and third place changing so much. Oswald Smith's just got to hold it together around this boy to get himself in the final. And Gunnar Banash is going to give him a run for his money to the end here as he accelerates on the plane. It's Gunnar Banash. Can he do anything about it? I don't think he's going to be able to catch Oswald Smith. Oswald Smith is going to glance behind him. One more crash though could deal with it. So what a race there. The crowd cheering on the beach. Another great race. Ollie Bridge will be kicking himself in. Very similar to the Brian Lake race which just took place. Is one of the key guys and the guys in first and second at the moment, Oswald Smith and Brian Lake, showing that they're not quite as solid as we thought in first place in some of these races. Nearly cost them getting into the final. As now we're moving on to the ladies' final, and I can get rid of that message that slalom's coming up because it's happening right here. As I speak to you again from my little booth here, you can see in the background the flags are blowing. It's a beautiful day here again. Loads of nice things to see and do on the beach here in Birch Beach. My first time in Birch Beach, and this is the Black Sea. It's a slightly different sea, they tell me, than the Mediterranean. The feel and the vibe from the Turkish people is incredibly that this is the wavy place to go. You know, the Black Sea, if you look at it on the map, it's enclosed. It's a small place. There's only a couple of openings out, which one is Istanbul, just around the corner up there. So you would think naturally that it being such a smaller sea than the Mediterranean, that this was the place they saw as the flatter place. But it's much windier here, they tell me, like stronger wind blows. And this creates quite a bit of swell. And seeing as where the wind's coming from now, which is pretty much, I suppose, across the other side of the Black Sea, we've got kind of an easterly wind blowing northeast, something like that. Definitely from an easterly direction blowing onto the coast here. So it builds quite a big swell here now. If you look at our shots here, it's quite a lumpy sea as we join the ladies now as they already take off. It looks like Christine Bonniger's had a nightmare of a start again, as it's the Russians up there on the ozone. She's out the front, I think, again. Is that the Russian girl in first again?
Yeah.
And in second is the other girl like before, the Turkish girl. So yes, once again, that is the Russian. Oh no, not again. It's happened again. They've navigated the course wrong again, the girls. Which girl is going to work it out though? It's Christine Bonniger, the experienced course racer. She knows that they've navigated the course wrong. So unbelievable. Second time in 2 days, the ladies just getting the course slightly wrong. The first two ladies have really messed this up, and it's the experienced rider from Germany, the only lady on the foil here, which is Christine Bonniger, who's realised, and she was sitting in third or fourth, she's navigated the course perfectly. So the front two here, which was the Russian lady on the ozone and also the Turkish lady on the ozone, which is Merve Zilan and also Elena Kalinina, they're going to get a DNF if they carry on to the finish here. So if you thought course racing was hard to navigate around the course, slalom racing can also present its problems. So Christine Bonniger is going to be in a great position here. So it must be quite difficult to follow this. Our video guy's saying, look, very difficult to follow the right guy. And I just wonder if it's starting to sink into some of these ladies now that they haven't gone round the course in the right manner. They seem to be moving very slowly, the front two. It's almost as if they know, as they look out to sea at Christine Bonniger on the yellow, white and black Vice Surfer, they know they've got it wrong. And it's going to be Christine Bonniger who navigates the course properly. And we can see the Cabrina out the back and the RRD of some of the other riders. Let's see if we can give you their names. So the RRD of Bilge Ozturk is navigating the course well on the black and white one. That's a Turkish lady, and I think she's going to get a good position here. Instead of going, yeah. So I think what's going on. Yeah, they're getting first and second. So if you are watching this and you're finding it very difficult to watch what's happened, so that some of the ladies have navigated the course in an incorrect way, which will give them a did not finish. And officially, it's Christine Bonniger from Germany. She's on the white and black fly surfer. She's currently in first place. As we can see, some of the riders desperately trying to get back out to sea. And in second place, it's going to be a great second place here. Possibly like yesterday, actually. It looks to me very much like Bilge Ozturk from Turkey on the white and black RRD is going to come through into second place. So she's got nothing to worry about from my perspective. So she's in second, black and white's in second. So I think she did it right. Ah, she's on a twin tip. And she's on a twin tip. It's Christine Bonniger who's going to do a big boost for the crowds maybe. She has gone through into first place and she knows it.
Can't stop.
She can't stop, too lit. So twin tip taking the win, which is really good to see. Cool, what great action we've had from today. Really good, successful amount of races that we've run so far. And here we are back at the booth here, at the commentary booth. I'm Lewis Crathen, I'm your commentator here today at the Bern PKA Kite Masters. And we've seen some amazing things today. We've seen a fragility in Brian Lake's riding with a bit of a balls up just near one of the last marks. Nearly cost him getting into the final. We've also seen almost a direct repeat of that with Oswald Smith, one of the best guys here as well, also having a balls up near the end, which nearly cost them both getting into the final, and that would have seriously affected their rankings today. Now the men's final is just about to get underway. I can see that it's Julian Kners out there, Salih, the Turkish guy that's Turkish English, Salik, okay, Salik, looks like salad on the list, and they will be just waiting. There's Brian Lake. There'll be one other. Where is Oswald Smith? He needs to get himself out there because I believe he is also in the final. Oswald Smith, he'll be in the final. Yeah, he's in the final. So where is he? He's gonna get out there. Sorry, I forgot to change the camera. There we go. Back out to the boat. So the boat is what they're watching for the start, and that's actually what we're using. So Oswald Smith will be on the beach. There looks like a very upset Ollie Bridge. I'm going to try and get a shot of him out down there on the beach. He knows that he's just had a really tough time here. Here we go on the camera. Hopefully he's going to just walk to the beach. So this is how it can be sometimes for a rider. And we've got, going to zoom out. Where is he? So in the shore break, there he is. There's Ollie Bridge just giving himself a little dunk, having a word with himself about that last race where he was in a great position. It just didn't go to plan for him. He's having a tough time with some of these races. Hands on his shoulders. I've been there, Ollie. I've been there many times where you just have to go in the sea and have a chat to yourself. Angry, comes from a winning family with world champion mother, Miss Bridge. He beats most of the guys. So Ollie just having a word for himself. Don't worry, mate. We've got plenty of other races for you today to get yourself up the rankings. It's not typically the discipline that they're into, but slalom now becoming a really highly contested discipline, and we're making history really here in terms of how this discipline is panning out, what the riders feel they'd like to see in the courses, and all sorts of different angles they're coming from. You've got the course racers coming from the angle that they'd like the sea state to be much easier going for these big boards with big fins, which you can understand. And you've also got some of these riders like twin tips, and certainly that's my background and that's my real interest, I think, in the slalom racing is like those of you that saw Fuerteventura, absolutely incredible Fuerteventura, seeing these guys on the twin tips over 30 knots speeding around. And I think I lean a bit more towards the twin tips. One, I've never really ridden a course racing board, but I think everybody in kiting has a twin tip and the appeal is incredible. But what I've learned from these events is that you've almost got to have the experience of riding a course racing board. Certainly anything below 20 knots, these guys are just so fast, you can't compete with them. Guys like Brian Lake, Oswald Smith, Salik, very good rider, a few of the other guys, Florian Gruber, Gunnar Binash, Simone Venucci, Roman as well, the young French kid. These guys are so quick crosswind, you just couldn't compete with twin tips unless it's 25 knots or so. So it's nice to see a discipline which is combining all the experience from different aspects of the sport. And what we're seeing here is the discipline of slalom starting to mould itself into something that is its own unique class. We're going to see a whole new set of boards come out. I think we're going to see completely different ideas on what type of board you need. I'm personally leaning towards more of a small course racing board, maybe something maybe like a skim board with some reasonable fins on it. It's got to be manoeuvrable because the twin tips certainly outperforming the slalom boards around the corners, but they just can't keep up with the speed in a straight line when it's under 20 knots. So I'm really stoked to be here and to see the slalom discipline really start to shape itself into something that's going to be really big in times to come, because let's face it, and this is one of the best things about slalom, I've got lots of guys on the beach at home where I live, maybe you have too, that they don't really care about the competitions, but one thing they do love is to go fast, and they love to race each other sometimes, and I think that's something that every single kiteboarder has within them. They love to go fast, so who wouldn't like to do a 3-minute race? I know if I set this back up at home, everyone would come and do it, so this is going to be massive, and it's great that we've got the perfect conditions to do this. And what's different than the course racing, if you're very familiar with course racing, the courses are much smaller. They're only around 2 or 3 minutes, some of these races. There's waves in some of the start of these races, and at the end of them it's basically like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like Formula 1 during the first lap, but it's only the first lap. There you go. That's basically how it is. Loads of cars chasing each other, crashes. I've nailed it. That's exactly what it is. It's Formula 1, like basically it's the first lap. So here we go then. You've joined us at a great time. It's the final of the second round of the day before we go to lunch. Oswald Smith from South Africa on the red and white air rush. Julian Knur on the white and black RRD. Salik, the Turkishman, is on the RRD. Here they go. They start to accelerate now as Oswald Smith looks like he's in a great position. Brian Lake on the Cabrino. It's going to be Brian Lake who's going to storm out. Very difficult to work out the start. It's almost like athletics on a 400-metre run. You just don't quite know the positioning until it gets around this first mark. Brian Lake's in a belter of a position here. Looks like Oswald Smith's going to get a bit of a block out as Brian Lake early on the feet there to just get across the jibe. It's going to be Oswald Smith, as he's so well done in the past. It's not gone to plan for Brian Lake, that corner. He's just gone from first to fourth place. But he's so quick. So what a race. I'd love you to be here to see this. This is slalom racing at its best now. 4 kites really close as Brian Lake starts to work his way back up from 4th. He's already visibly gone from 4th to 2nd place. He's so much quicker across wind is Brian Lake. It's unbelievable. And he's going to make the second mark almost in first place. Amazing. So it's Brian Lake in first place, the man from the USA. Second place is the Frenchman, Julian Knur. Third place is the South African, who's just been pipped to the point by the Turkishman as 2 riders go around. Brian Lake storming. This looks like a great race we've got now with Julian Knur finally keeping up the pace with Brian Lake. Both these riders very close to each other now. And Brian Lake just seems to have that extra bit of control over the board and the kite. He just finds a few more knots, does Brian Lake. Oswald Smith's not going to be too happy about this. He's way out at the back at the moment as we round the 3rd mark. It looks like a good mark from Brian Lake. Very different strategy, Brian Lake. He goes wider sometimes. It's just like Formula 1. He goes wider. It gives the opportunity for some of the other riders to sneak in on the inside, but he just gets so much speed out the corner. Look at this from Brian Lake. It's a classic Brian Lake mark point, this, where he's gone round the mark. Looked like they might catch him. Oswald Smith catches an edge. He's definitely going to be in 4th place. Didn't need that. Looked like he was going to move his way up to 3rd place. Great result for RRD here. Roberto Ricci, if you're listening. Really good performance from 2 of your riders here. Julian Knur, who really looks like he wants to put the pressure on Brian Lake, but he's just too good with the kites, Brian Lake. You watch his kite, the guy's kite is never lofting, it's always got power in it, it's never stalling. It's just so much energy he puts into his board on those fins that he's got constant power. Are we going to see Salik, the Turkishman, put on some pressure to the Frenchman, Julian Knur, who looks like they're happy to settle with their positioning? Oswald Smith's almost a mark down now, which is as good as a lap down in racing. As in comes Brian Lake. He's going to be over the moon. Is that his second win of the day, Brian Lake? And it's going to be the second win of the day for the American. Brian Lake comes past the last boy. Julian Kinner in second place. Much better result from Julian Kinner. And Salik, nice big jump from Julian Kinner. And he's happy. And Oswald Smith's had an absolute nightmare. As we focus in on Oswald Smith now, that is what's going through his mind right now. I can tell you, not great things. Kite down in the water, board's miles away. Looks like we're going to get the back stall. No, he's got his kite in the sky. I mean, if I was Oswald Smith now, I would just ride into the beach. So, great set of results then to start things off. Let's just, do you want to get them coming off the water? Here they come. Here comes Julian Kinner. The crowd seem to be really happy with what they've seen there, and I am. This is brilliant to see. As off the water comes Julian Kinner. Sally looks pretty happy there. He's done well. And we're going to have a little break now for lunch before we have some more races this afternoon. Really is super fun to watch this. Never imagined that I'd be commentating racing and being so into it. This is absolutely brilliant. It's quick, it's fun, it's so random. Some of the best guys sometimes finishing last. You know, it's absolutely everything you'd want to see in racing for kiting. So we're going to say goodbye for now. I hope you've enjoyed listening. Lunch break, I can hear them all saying. So join us for some more racing in around 40 minutes. Absolutely great morning. See you later.